What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and in today's YouTube video, we're going to be talking about Fortnite's Fortnite Friday events and my personal opinion on it, as well as what I've heard in the community, but also I want your guys' input in the comments down below. Now, firstly, to understand what Fortnite Fridays is and how this came to be, we have to talk about the launch of Fortnite Delulu. As you guys may or may not know, when Fortnite Delulu originally launched, they did it in an interesting way where they made it so for like 24 hours before it came out, content creators who had a supported creator code were eligible to go ahead and play it a whole entire day early, which was a pretty interesting experience. I actually participated in that. I was in some of the lobbies. You may have seen me in some clips here or there or whatever else, but it was something where only content creators were grouped together and only content creators could play together, and it made sense for a whole entire proximity chat mode. You know, be able to goof around with friends, you know, be able to goof around with other creators who are in the same ecosystem as you, and do tons of cool stuff there. However, something interesting had actually occurred from it. There's a little bit of discourse back then when it first started that I was like, hey, this is cool and all, but we don't want to go down the route of something like Marvel Rivals, where entire seasons or something get locked behind being in a content creator role or something, right? Imagine if the next season of Fortnite Battle Royale came out, and it was like, oh, if you're a content creator, you're a supported creator member, you actually get to access this entire season a whole entire day early. Make your content on it before everyone else gets to. Now, I'm not sure how logically they would be able to do that at all, but that is an actual concern I've seen in the community regarding this whole entire system and what it could lead to later down the line because of how other games like Marvel Rivals does it. However, most recently, we've seen the return of these Delulu private matches in the form of Fortnite Fridays. Fortnite Fridays is an event where if you are in the supported creator program, you were able to actually play most recently on a Friday some Battle Royale matches across 2 different time periods where those matches would only be against other content creators. I think it was Duos Battle Royale when it first came out, and it was something where if you booted into it, so you know you were on EN or I guess North America servers or you're in EU servers or anything like that, you would only be put around other content creators who are in the exact same server region. It was a pretty cool thing, however there was an issue because of them not really being too clear about what Fortnite Fridays was, where some people were wondering why they didn't have access to it when it was basically advertised as anyone with a supported creator code that is a hashtag epic partner would be allowed in it. Now, hashtag epic partner is just something that anyone with a code kind of has to do if they're advertising their code. So if I was to say use code FireMonkey in the item shop, hashtag ad or hashtag epic partner definitely goes in that mix there and works. So it doesn't mean like there's a second tier called the epic partner tier when you're in the supported creator program or anything like that. It's just an interesting little thing they're actually doing, but that was kind of how they advertised it, so people were wondering why this wasn't showing up in game or whatever, and then they most recently announced they were going to be doing Delulu Fridays for content creators, and some people were wondering why the new tournament didn't show up in game at all for anyone, to the point where one of my friends, Be Yourselves over on social media, ended up making a post asking Epic Games, you know, asking Fortnite, why do they not have access to it, to which Fortnite kind of just told them, wait till tomorrow, you know, they would go ahead and explain it a little bit more the next day, for them to understand. And the official announcement came out this morning, or I guess last night, I'm not for sure which one it was again, and it states the following. Fortnite Friday and Delulu for supported creator or SAC creators, which I guess is supported creator creators. Weird wording, but okay. Fortnite Friday and Delulu is also open today. Content creators who have hit a minimum supported creator code usage amount should see a new playlist just for them. We may widen or narrow the threshold for Fortnite Fridays as we continue to iterate to make it a great environment for content creators. What this means in this official statement, even though it is still in one weird way kind of vague, is that not everyone who is in the supported creator program actually gets access to these Fortnite Friday events. Instead, Fortnite Fridays currently in its current state is only for supported creator program members whose code has been used over a certain amount. Now, I think this is to the payout threshold, so if you've earned $100 in the past year and you've received that $100 payout, then you qualify for the supported creator Fortnite Fridays event. But if you're someone who just has a code and you might be at like $80 earned, $60 earned or something like that, you don't technically qualify for Fortnite Fridays most likely. We don't know the exact number cutoff for qualification and dequalification, but we do know it has to be a certain amount up there on the high end, and it seems like if you've reached a payout before, then you're eligible, and if you haven't, you know, you're not eligible. It seems that's the general consensus right now, but it means we're kind of alienating the community and the supported creator program into 3 tiers. So we have the normal supported creator tier, which is basically anyone who gets 1,000 followers online and decides to go ahead and get a code. We have the secondary tier, which I guess is the payout tier. This just means that you got a code and you reached $100 to actually receive a payout once before. That technically qualifies you for stuff like the whole entire Fortnite Fridays events. And then you have the invite-only Epic Early Cosmetic Program. Now, there is an official name for it. I call it the Early Cosmetic Program, but it's basically, you know, like a close invite-only Epic partner situation or something, where you actually have to have a partner manager like contact you and be like, hey, we like your content, we want you in this program. That is the hardest tier to get into. It's not something that is dependent on following counts, view counts, anything like that. It is literally subjective up to Epic Games and, you know, the higher ups at the company themselves to figure out if they think that you should be a partner for their game or not. That's the reason why leakers such as myself, despite having millions of followers online, aren't in that program, which I think makes sense. You know, they don't want to fully advertise themselves to leakers in that way, even though they have been kind of acting, you know, like closer to leakers in a way recently, at least on social media like Twitter. But there are the 3 different tiers, and the most important tier here is that payout tier where you get access to Fortnite Friday. Now, we've already seen some issues with this whole entire Fortnite Friday event where some people are just unable to find matches, right? When we had the Fortnite Battle Royale Duos event most recently, people were trying to find matches and they were in queues for like 20, 30 minutes. And if you're someone who's in a different region like Oceanic or Asia or something like that, oh boy, you are going to be in a queue. You're probably going to be in the queue with the only other like 5 content creators in that region who decided to actually play in that mode. And when we had the Delulu early access, that was less restricted. It was for everyone with the creator code. I actually did test going into like an Asia match, an Oceanic match, and I kind of gotta admit, I gave up. I was in the queue for like 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes, and I was just like, nope, I'm out of here. Meanwhile, you go to like NA or you go to EU, you get a code, you get like in a match really quickly. So it does mean that we're kind of limiting the people in these other regions that are less popular to get access to these events as well, because unless they want to have massive ping spikes or whatever else, they kind of don't get to do Fortnite Fridays at all. Sure, it'll show up for them, but they won't be able to really find that full lobby they need because of how limited it is. Now, they did mention they plan to iterate it in the future and maybe widen or narrow the gap, so maybe they'll open it up like they did the original Delulu event and make it for all content creators who are in the supported creator program. But then again, I feel like this is somewhat to combat the whole entire issue where some people with the creator code are being racist, you know, whether it's TikTok content creators who can easily get 1,000 followers or whatever else. There was a lot of stuff going on there that I remember seeing people kind of argue about here and there. So maybe I feel like they're trying to find a way to have the supported creator program going with these early access events without having that many bad apples managing to get their way in there who might just so happen to have a creator code or something. Now, based on their previous announcements before that they've actually emailed the people, it seems like they plan to keep doing Fortnite Fridays in the future, and they plan to make it so upcoming LTMs that end up releasing, like let's say they decide to bring back the Floor is Lava for like the 100th time or whatever else, or please, the Floor is Lava Disarmed, then they could do something where it's like for 24 hours, content creators get early access to the mode. You know, they have that whole entire system in place. If you have a supported creator code with the payout usage or whatever else, you get 24 hours to playing that mode a little bit early. That seems like something that they do plan to do in the future, instead of just having what we have, you know, some people fear-mongering about online, about, oh, what if they make entire seasons locked behind it? I don't think they'll lock entire seasons behind it. Maybe they will, who knows? But it appears like the main focus will be on LTMs and that type of stuff, potentially having a lock in that early access one day, you know, pay, or I guess not even paid, but that early access supported creator tier program. But I want to hear in the comments down below, what do you guys think about Fortnite Fridays? What do you think about all the issues it's already had so far with there only being 2 Fortnite Friday events, one going on around the exact same time as me recording this video? And let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about all of it and how Epic Games is kind of trying to like split up things they're doing with the community, change it around a lot. I mean, let's be honest here, they've been communicating a lot differently on social media. They've been interacting with content creators and doing this whole supported creator early access thing a lot different than we've ever really seen them act before. So it makes me wonder what's kind of going on internally at the company. Until next time, however, hope champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. So until then, peace out.